who's your ideal customer? He goes, my
Mm-hmm.
ideal customer is this guy. I go, okay, what is it that you do for them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What results do you get? Who gets really good results? He goes, okay, it's this. And then I go, who are the clients you enjoy with? Make a list. He goes, I make a list. I make a list of the guys that get good results. I make a list of the people I like working with. Who are the people who pay you fast, send you lots of referrals? You know what I mean? They don't argue about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
price. Those people argue about the price, right?
yeah,
We're from the East. People like us, we always argue about the price, right? But
yeah.
so I go, okay, who's on all three lists? She says, can you teach me how to enroll? And I go, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a conversation with someone and you have to focus on them. You can't focus on, I
Right.
need a sale, I need a sale, I need a sale. You got to go, what are they dealing with? What's their problem? And can I help them? Am I the right person? You have to look at them. If you take the
Yeah,
attention and you put it on you, they're going to think this person only wants a sale. They're not interested
yeah.
in helping. You have to put the attention on, I want to help this person. I want to help this human being.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing we teach people.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Your Lab Central. Today I'm joined with Nikki. So, Nikki, would you like to tell our audience why they should be excited about our chat today?
Adichia, man, thanks for having me on the show. Really good to be here with you. Good to see you. So let
Same.
me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm actually originally an immigrant to Canada from the Middle East. I'm a
Okay.
Christian from Iran. Iran's in the news these days a lot. And,
Yeah.
when I was 11, the Islamic Revolution took place in Iran, right? And there was gun battles in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and father, they were like, whoa, we got to get our kids out of here. So they made a plan, took them a couple years. They took us out of Iran, they took us to Greece, took them another couple years, took us to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a kid. I didn't want to leave my home. I didn't want to leave my friends, right? But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
over time, I could see what an incredible thing mom and dad did for us because Iran,
Yeah.
man, was no longer a free country. You
Mm-hmm.
know, regular people were being basically repressed. Girls were being beaten up for their hair showing from under their hijab, things like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
could see in Canada, this is a free country, right? Free country, beautiful. And so I became very grateful. And I think everybody who's free should be grateful. And
Yeah.
everybody here, shout out for the people of Iran to get their freedom. Yes, Iran, get your freedom. Get out of the mullah's regime. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you're an entrepreneur, you have to believe in freedom, right? Without freedom, you can't be an entrepreneur. You can't do
Yeah.
business. You can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, my father, he believed the same thing. And my father is the best man I ever knew.
Mm-hmm.
If you met a man and you were trying to find a job, he would sit down with you, he would talk to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then he would call all his friends and get you a job. If you were trying to start a business, he'd sit down with you, he'd talk to you, he'd give you his best advices, and then he would put you in touch with people who had capital to get
Yeah.
you started, customers. Amazing. If you were trying to buy a car or a house, the bank wouldn't give you enough. You need an extra 1,000, 5,000, 2,000. He'd write you a check and say, here you go buy the car or the house. And then if you tried to go back to him to give him, return the money, he'd say, get out of here. That was a gift. He said, go help somebody. Don't
Mm-hmm.
bother me. That's what he would say to you. And he was the best man I knew. He would always tell me, life's about people, Nikki. Life is about people. It's all relationships, it's all people. You got to love people. You got to believe in people. And so I got into business because of my father, because of who he was, because of freedom, because I love people. I believe in people. I'm my father's son, man. I hold that Billou torch high in the sky. I look for people to help. I look to find ways to help it make good things happen for people. And that's what happens.
Now, how is that working? I mean, you've had great inspiration in your life. Now, how are you passing on this inspiration to others, right? That's the story I think everybody is more interested in as to how are you helping others in their lives? How are you making the impact, taking it
Well,
forward?
I was inspired by my father,
Mm-hmm.
inspired to help people. And so what we do now is we help people who are in business, who need someone to give them, some guidance on how to market, how to sell. And good people need good people to help them. Everyone needs someone to believe in them, someone to like
Yeah.
care for them. That's my job. I believe in people. I care for people. I move people forward. That's what I do.
I still don't fully understand. I am not sure if the audience also, if you could shed some light as to see, business is a huge thing, right? You mentioned that freedom is important and we have to be looking
Well,
for
let
the
me give you a couple of
opportunity.
stories.
Yeah, of
Let me give
course.
you a story. Let me give you a
Yeah.
story. Maybe that's a good way. So I
Mm-hmm.
had this client, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he used to be a big person in a big company, manufacturing company. They used to make lots of like parts for
Uh-huh.
cars and things like that. But he was 57 when I met him, same age I am now. Kind of
Uh,
unbelievable. It was a while ago. And he was a little bit like, I'm sick and tired of this. I quit. I want to start my own business. So he started his business. He was an executive business coach. You
mm-hmm.
familiar with business coaching? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so he loved it. There was only one thing he didn't love about it. His income
Uh-huh.
dropped
Right.
80%. He used to
Yeah.
make $350,000 a year.
Yeah.
It dropped to like $70,000 a year, man. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is crazy. I need to make money the way I used to make
Yeah.
money. So he comes to me, he goes, Nicky, I hear you help people new in
Mm-hmm.
business make more money. And I said, yeah, I
Yeah.
do my best. He said, okay, let's talk. And so we talked, and I said, so tell me about your new business. He said, well, I'm a business coach. I
Mm-hmm.
go, okay. Well, who do you work with? Who's your ideal customer? He said, really, I can help anybody. Anybody with any business problem, I can help them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, oh man, that's not going to work. No wonder you don't have any clients.
Uh-huh.
So what do I need to do? I said, well, you need to narrow the focus. So
Mm-hmm.
how do I do that? I said, wow, what a great question. So let me show you something, man.
Mm-hmm.
This guy came to me and he basically I drove him a diagram like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, who's your ideal customer? Because
Mm-hmm.
my ideal customer is this guy. I go, okay, what is it that you do for them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What results do you get? Who gets really good results? He goes, okay, it's this. And then I go, who are the clients you enjoy with? Make a list. He goes, I make a list. I make a list of the guys that get good results. I make a list of the people I like working with. Who are the people who pay you fast, send you lots of referrals? You know what I mean? They don't argue about
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
price. You know, people argue about the price, right?
Yeah.
We're from the East. People like us, we always argue about the price, right? But
Yeah.
so I go, okay, who's on all three lists? He
Uh-huh.
goes, oh, that's smart. I go, yeah, it is, isn't it? He goes,
Uh-huh.
that's really smart. So he made the people that were all three lists. They were almost always men,
Mm-hmm.
men, right? No women. They were almost always lawyers. They own the
Right.
law business, right? Law
Mm-hmm.
business. Okay, okay. And they almost always they want to grow. They just want to be bigger, make more money. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, so all our marketing focus is on these guys now.
Yeah.
Nobody else. These guys. And buddy, 6 months later, so
Uh,
remember, he was making 70,000 a year. So what's that? That's $6,000 a month, right?
uh-huh.
Within 6 months, man, he was making 40, $50,000 a month,
All right.
600,000 a year. Boom. So what I did to this guy is I helped him focus on who's the ideal customer. I helped him stop all the distractions, and that's how we went forward.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you arrive at your ideal customer? Now, coming at from
I did exactly what I told this guy to do. I did the exact same thing, the same process. Who are the guys I got good results for? Who are the
yeah.
guys I liked? Who are the guys who paid me quickly, gave me lots of referrals, didn't
Mhm.
argue about price? Who was on all three lists? Go after those guys. And those people, brother, tend to
Yeah.
be business consultants, coaches, experts,
Okay.
solopreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my guys. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to be in business. So newbies, not so much,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But if they have been business, but they're not doing so good,
Mm-hmm.
they're my guys. I know how to make them money. I get them paid fast, fast, fast.
Yeah. Now, what's the problem with newbies, right? I mean, new business owners, they always
Nothing.
have the drive. No, I mean, not as a from a customer perspective, not as your customers, but in general, you see, because yeah, there is a thing about experienced business people. They have a thing, they have some systems, they think they have things going. But what are the things that newbies are not having that they should be having?
Well, they need to focus a little bit and they have to get their first few customers. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of people go into business, they go, I'm in business, but they don't have any customers. I talked to one yesterday. He's
Mm-hmm.
been in business for a year, no customers, zero. And I go, buddy,
Okay.
you don't have a business, you have a hobby. You have a
Right.
hobby. You
Mm-hmm.
need customers. That's why I want someone with customers. It doesn't matter if they haven't been in business too long, but
Mm-hmm.
you need some customers, some people that do something with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's only an idea in your head, we don't got nothing. It's not a
Yeah.
business, it's a hobby.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Unless you're generating revenue, you're not doing business. You're just having a thing that you're doing on the side, and probably it makes something for you. And yeah, you're happy if it does. If it doesn't, it's a problem. How do you share this message out on the internet? I mean, there's one that this podcast that you're doing, but going out on social media, is there a platform that you prefer using for spreading this
Well,
message?
I go on a lot of podcasts. I've been on almost 800 podcasts. So I
Okay.
go on a lot of podcasts.
Uh-huh.
So I'm on your show today and one or two more
Mm-hmm.
today. And I go like on a lot of shows. Then I go on all the podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
all the social media platforms that I can, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
X, and I post things there. So I have my own podcast as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have somebody who does clips for me and he posts some there. So that helps. And then I post myself. It's fun.
But what's your favorite platform? Just asking. Why do you like it?
Well, Facebook and Instagram are easy for me to use. I have a lot of contacts there, so that's
Uh-huh.
good. LinkedIn is second to that. Again, because I have a lot of contacts on LinkedIn. And then, last but not least is X. And
Uh-huh.
X, it's just I'm not as big on X
Uh-huh.
as other people, so that's probably why I'm not as excited about X. But
Mhm.
if I put more time into it, maybe it'll get better.
I don't know. X has become a little more political these days, so yeah, probably that is one of these reasons. X is not usually used for business, from a business perspective, is what I hear these days, that people don't use it for generating leads or something of that sort. Have you seen that trend?
Well, there's a lot of people that do use it for business. I know a guy who was on
Hmm.
my podcast and he exclusively uses X for business lead
Okay.
generation and he does very well with it. So I can't say it's just not
Uh-huh.
been so much for me. For
Mm-hmm.
me, Facebook, Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and LinkedIn are better.
Yeah, all right. And now the businesses that you're working with, obviously not all of them have a focus kind of issue, right? Targeting the right customer. Many might have issues with the operations that they're having or the systems that they follow, right? On the back end, not just the front facing thing that they have. What is one mistake that all of them are making? Most of
Well,
them are making.
I got to be honest. Our primary focus
Mm.
is on helping people grow their sales
Uh-huh.
and become seen and become visible. So we work on branding, marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and sales. I don't really focus on operations so
Okay.
much. Now, if someone comes to us and says, I have an operations problem, who we're talking to about these other things, we'll
Mm.
do our best to help them. But that's not really my focus.
Okay.
I frankly like my operations is I have a podcast, I have a team that does everything for me. So that's systematized, thankfully, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I go as a guest on podcasts, I use Podmatch. That's my podcast guesting system, right? That's how
Yeah.
we get to know each other.
Yeah.
So that's what works for me in those regards. For other people, I would probably, send them to my partner, which is my lady. We work together. She helps people
Uh-huh.
with that sort of thing. If they have a systems process, I send them to her because that's not really my thing.
And now, this is a thing, right? Sales is an issue that a lot of business owners have problems with. They either have a huge sales team, but it's not generating enough value for the customer, or they have a small sales team, but the product is amazing. The sales team is not able to scale, and then not able to reach the market itself. But is there a common link between these two problems? Where is it stemming from, essentially?
Look, systems are very important for any business. Okay.
Hmm.
I think you and we can agree on this. It's very,
Yeah.
very important to have good systems in place. But sales is usually not just a systems issue.
Hmm.
Sales is usually, especially for, a small solopreneur business like a coaching company, a consulting company,
Hmm.
they have to do the selling.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a sales team, right? They have to do the
Right.
selling.
Hmm.
And if they have to do the selling, they need to like agree that it's a good idea and they need to get good at it. Because if you don't do the work, you're not going to get good at it. You're never going to
Mhm.
make money. Never.
Yeah. But what kind of work are you helping them with? Because yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. There's leads to be generated. There's deals to be closed. There's people that need to be
All of it. When it
convinced.
comes to sales, we help them with all of it. So lead generation, man, like I said to you, this fellow we talked to, we helped him with targeting. Once he got his
Right.
targeting done, he got lots of leads. And
Hmm.
by the way, he went on LinkedIn. He was better at LinkedIn than I am, a lot better with LinkedIn than I am
Okay.
because lawyers are on LinkedIn. But it was a targeting issue. Now, there's other clients we have, their targeting's okay, but they're not really good at enrollment and closing. So
Okay.
we sit down and we help them get better at enrollment and closing because listen, if you can't close business, you don't have a business, man. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
So I had a client, um, no enrollment skills, zero,
Okay.
zero. Okay. Um, and she was she had a clinic, functional medicine clinic.
Okay.
So she comes to us and she goes, well, you know, can you teach me? Like first we had to narrow her focus. So we did all that for
Hmm.
her. She says, can you teach me how to enroll? And I go, okay.
Hmm.
You have to have a conversation with someone and you have to focus on them. You can't focus on, I
Right.
need a sale, I need a sale, I need a sale. You got to go, what are they dealing with? What's their problem? And can I help them? Am I the right person? You have to look at them. If you take the attention
Yeah.
and you put it on you, they're going to think this person only wants a sale. They're not interested in
Yeah.
helping. You have to put the attention on, I want to help this person. I want to help this human being.
Hmm.
So that's the first thing we teach people. And then you ask the right questions, right? So tell me, like in her case, she was helping like professional women, right? So she said, what is it that you're not happy with? And they go,
Right.
well, I'm 45 now. When I was 30, I was so young and pretty and beautiful. Right now, I'm old and fat. I don't look good. I hate it. She goes, oh, really? Tell me, when did this start to happen? Oh, when I was 38, blah, 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 the ball. And then she goes, would you like to change it? Yeah, I'd like to change it. She says, I can show you how. And she says, how? Well, you have to do this, 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 and this. And I help you throughout the whole process. By the end of the process, you're going to feel the way you used to feel when you were 30,
Yeah.
young and pretty and slim and beautiful. You want to work? Yeah, I want to do it. Boom. That's how before it was like, I wonder if they're going to buy in their head. I wonder if they're going to work with me. Oh
Hmm.
my God. People feel that, man. They
Yeah.
feel weird when you're around them. No, 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 man. You got to go, hey, this is a person, this is a human being. They're suffering. They're not
Yeah.
happy. That's why they're here. The whole reason they're here is because they're suffering. They're not happy.
Yeah.
Let me help them. And you teach them how to do that, they become better at enrollment because then it's not about I'm trying to get a sale. It's I'm
Uh,
trying to help a fellow human being.
mhm.
You know, you're from the East, man. You're from India, and the culture in India, there's a lot of culture of caring, of loving people, of being a good person, of karma and dharma and all that. And I believe in that. It's very
Mhm.
powerful. It's very true.
Yeah.
And in the West, more people need to pay attention to that.
Mhm.
More people need to pay attention to that. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course, I agree with that. I mean, a lot of sales is more about helping the customer before closing the sale itself. That's where,
Has to be. Has to
that,
be.
yeah, that's where the actual sale comes from. Unless and until the customer gets value, why will the
Why would they
consumer,
work with you?
yeah, why will they even
Exactly.
be working with you? And now, if you were to say there's a new solopreneur going out in the market, they have a particular service that they want to sell. What's the first thing that you would suggest them to do?
Well, the first thing to do is get clear on who's your ideal customer
Hmm.
and why they should do business with you.
Hmm.
Second thing is go start talking to some of them. That's and find out if you can
Yeah.
help them. If the answer is you can help them, then ask them to do business with you. It's a
Hmm.
three-step process.
Hmm.
Ideal customer, talk to them, ask them to do business.
And in which part of the process do most of the people find an issue? I mean, there are some who have trouble.
Ask them to do business.
The last
That's
part.
number one. Ask them to do business. They can do the first two parts really good. They
Yeah.
get scared. Oh my God, are they going to like me? Are they going to want to buy from me? I hope they like me.
Yeah. But what's so? scary about the last part that people are so fumbling at that step. I mean, not, yeah.
Well, that's a good question. I think they're just nervous of what people are going to say. They don't like rejection. That's what I think is the biggest part. They're worried someone's going to say no. They take it personally. It means they don't like me as a person. That doesn't mean that. It just means they don't want to do this thing you're telling them to do. It doesn't mean that at all.
Hmm.
Some people do business with you, some people don't. No problem.
Uh, it's also about creating relations, right? Not every time a sale is closed, relations are made, and not every time sales are left open or a deal is left open, a relationship is not made. Sometimes deals are created over a period of time. That kind of thing is also there. What would you say to that?
Um, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
Okay. Um, you have to build a relationship,
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
But I mean, how big a relationship do you need? Depends on what you're selling.
Hmm. Okay.
If you're selling, you know, chocolate bars, you don't need much of a relationship, man.
Yeah.
You don't. They don't care. If you're selling business coaching, you need a bit of a relationship, but that's why the business meeting happens.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of people to buy from me in 1, 2 meetings.
Okay.
Almost everybody buys in one meeting, and maybe 20% buy in 2 meetings. Never
Mm.
takes more than that.
Right. And that's a part of the whole conversation as well. The point where you decide to cut off that, yeah, it's no point investing further time in trying to close this deal. That's also a thing, right? Where you're investing time in the conversation, but then you see that the person is not interested. It's not worth my time to even put more effort into closing the deal because the deal might not be worth it.
Look, if the person isn't interested, you'll
Hmm.
know soon. But if they need your services, then you should meet with them. If they don't need your services, why are you trying to sell them? I don't sell to people just, oh, I see you, come buy my service. No, man.
Right.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I go, Aditya, tell me about your business. How long you been in business? What's the biggest problem you have in business?
Hmm.
Oh, you haven't grown in 3 years? Okay, why is that?
Right.
And if I understand all your problems, then I can give you a good solution. If I don't understand your problems, no, man, people shouldn't just sell.
Yeah.
That's like 60 years ago, man, not today. The
Okay.
buyers evolved. They're
Yeah.
looking for people who care. They're
Yeah.
looking to do business with a person, not a shark. They're not
Right.
waiting for you to go, oh, I'm gonna take your money. Give me your wallet. Let me put your hand in your wallet. No, man. Forget about it.
So yeah, that's a lot of relatable stuff that you shared right today. I mean, every business owner, every solopreneur will relate to that. These are core problems that they're facing, and yeah, I'm guessing they'll take a lot of inspiration from what you shared. Um, Before you close, do you want to share where people can get in touch with you?
Sure, go to Facebook, Instagram, and say at Nicky Billou, NICKYBILLOU.
Hmm.
And if you're a business owner who wants to have a conversation about a problem of stagnant growth,
Hmm.
then go to my website, ecircleacademy.com, and there's a button that says book a success call. Book a call. Go click on that button and book a call, or we'll have a call.
Right. Now, okay, yeah, this question just popped into my mind before we close. Imagine there's a business that's growing very fast. Okay. It's been growing for a year or two. Okay. But the business owner actually sees their pipeline slowing down and they're stagnating. What's the step that they can take to actually sustain that growth? What's something that they can?
I don't know, brother. Like that's a very generic question. It depends on
Uh-huh.
the person, right? Like if you give me some more specifics, I can answer. But the
Mm-hmm.
first question I would ask them is, so what happened? Why has it happened? Is it a lead problem?
Mm-hmm.
Is it you get lots of leads, but you're not having a good time enrolling them and closing them? That's what I
Mm-hmm.
need to understand first. If it's
Right.
a lead problem, then we got to look at what industry you're in and how you've been getting leads and how you can get leads. Like in my industry, coaching and consulting,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to go on podcasts
Uh-huh.
uh, as a guest. That's a good way to get leads. I think it's important to go. speak on stages. That's a good way to get leads. And
Hmm.
I think it's important to call your own circle of contacts, your Rolodex.
Hmm.
So those are three good ways in my industry, but it depends on the industry. Like if you're selling, hospital medical equipment, it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. So, right. Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you for joining me on this podcast, on this episode. To the audience, if you liked what we talked about, do leave a like. If you have a question or if you want to add to it, do leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe before you close the window itself. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, Nikki, for joining in this episode.
Aditya, it's been fun. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye bye.
Same here, man. Thank you.